Drugs, poverty, and violence, it's a deadly combination that has plagued parts of the city of St. Louis for decades.
And after all that time, what's to blame and how do we work together to make this city a better place to live? News 4's Caroline Heckert sits down with a group of North City residents to get to the root of the issues.
North St. Louis has largely been in ruins since the 1950s and 60s as historians point to middle-class flight, population loss, and unemployment. So when we sat down with those who live here, we wanted to know what quality of life is like today in 2022 and how to make sure the next generation is set up to succeed.
Perception, it's a powerful thing. Many people living in the St. Louis region want little to do with North St. Louis. Abandoned homes, trash, and utter despair on full display. But it's also home to thousands of people, many of which say the problems run much deeper.
The way our communities and things look, that's because a lot of people feel that way on the inside, even if they know it or not.
But it hasn't happened overnight. They point to a generational breakdown of the home. Single parents, often mothers, working multiple jobs to support their children.
Because when kids go unsupervised, they just gonna get in trouble. It's gonna happen, which is gonna bring a lot of young parents that's not ready to be parents and don't even have the true maturity to understand what even being a parent is. So now there's a younger generation coming in that's gonna be neglected.
That's where they say education can be a game changer. But in North City, children are surrounded by more shuttered schools than open ones. In 2021, the St. Louis Public School District voted to close 7 schools, 5 of which are in North St. Louis. A district spokesperson says each school had less than 200 students enrolled, and a 20% decline in the city's population of children reinforced the need for consolidation.
It didn't seem like they had a plan for after they closed these schools down, what to do with these buildings. And most of them are being burnt up or vandalized and just making the neighborhood as well, contributing to the downfall of the neighborhood.
When kids have to travel farther to go to school, that opens the door to problems, Jackson says.
In all honesty, I think the further the schools are that the kids have to go to, it kind of gives them a chance not to go where they're supposed to go.
Without education to fall back on, options for the future can become bleak.
We have to kind of find a way to convince them that there's a future ahead of them that's brighter than what they're doing right now.
For some, he says that could mean learning a trade and putting their talents to use in a positive way.
You'd be surprised. People out here selling drugs are one of the best business people you can know. And or people who are out there who forming gangs. They can organize people and become builders, you know. But we use them for the wrong tools because we make them feel they don't have a future.
And does that start at home? Where does that start?
Yes, definitely at home.
And I think that's our biggest downfall right now, this I don't care. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about their home, their community.
And when that happens, bad things tend to follow, she says. Last year, 90% of the city's homicide victims were black, despite only making up 50% of the city's population.
The home is the fundamental place of where everything began there. The respect for the authority begins at your home. If you can't respect your mother and father, who are the police to you? I mean, who are those in authority if you can't respect the authority in your home?
In 2021, the city experienced 195 homicides. More than half of those took place on the north side. Do you want to see more police in your neighborhoods?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We need police. We need more police. And I'm not for defunding the police. I want to fund them so that we can have more police walking the beat like they used to do.
I say in my little box where I'm at, from this stop sign to that stop sign, I'm okay. It's when you cross them stop signs, it may be a problem.
St. Louis City Police will transition to 12-hour shifts in June to make up for a shortage of officers.
We're living in, I hate to say, the wild, wild west, so to speak. Guns are legal now. And, you know, anytime you have the law enforcement they come in scared. I don't blame them.
He says the notion of defunding the police has done more harm for North City residents than good.
To take an attitude to defund the police is not the right attitude at all, because we don't need to defund them. We need to support the authority.
While they all support the police and want to see more officers in their neighborhoods, they say it is a problem when an officer is fired from one department and then rehired at a neighboring one. Public safety aside, though, they say the real transformation in the culture here in North St. Louis will begin at home. In North St. Louis, Caroline Hecker, News 4.